Welcome to the Business Bootcamp for Freelance Writers video blog and podcast series. I'm Kevin Corbley, and today I want to talk about rules. I have certain rules that I've developed for my business that I actually have posted on my bulletin board beside my behind and beside my desk. And the reason I have these is I just found that there were some mistakes I was making over and over again. Wanted to make sure I had it down in writing as a reminder. There were certain things I was going to do and certain things I wasn't going to do, and that's what these rules are about. And also, if you have a rule, that way you're never indecisive about things. Once you decide this is the way I'm going to do it or not do it, you're not in a quandary. You're not left spending a lot of time deciding how to deal with a situation. So some of these are fun, some are more serious. Let me go through, and I literally, like I said, I print them out, put them on my bulletin board. Okay, rule number one, don't let somebody else tell you how to run your business. Now, people are going to give you advice, and you might try people's advice, but in terms of the core processes for running your business, especially if you've been doing it for a while, you know what's best for you. It's kind of like having somebody tell you how to raise your kids, all right? You know your kids best, you know your business best. Okay, number two, this is important for me anyway, don't let a client rush you. All right, so when I start to rush, that's when I start to make mistakes. I know that about myself, and I just don't do it. I would rather turn down work from a client if it was going to require a real rush turnaround, especially in our business of writing. Man, you make a mistake, it goes out and 40,000 people see it. So I don't like to be rushed, so I just don't take that kind of work. Number three, never lie to a client. This probably goes without saying, but I want to tell you why. I mean, obviously, lying is wrong, obviously, but and in this day and age, you lie, people can find out, amazing what they can find on the internet. But here's the situation on lying to a client. You're going to get to a point where a client comes to you and maybe they have an idea, they want you to write a press release or something, and they've got a bad idea, and sure, it's tempting to take their money, but really, maybe I should say, rather than never lie to a client, always be honest with clients. Tell them when, hey, that's just not going to work. I'd love to do that work for you, but no, not going to work. So, and believe me, that'll come back, and they'll repay you down the road in some way for that. Never lie for a client. I think, again, I hate to say it, goes without saying, but it does. You just don't want to get in a situation like that. As far as I know, I have never had a client have me lie on their behalf in any of my writings, and I don't plan to. Here's another one, number five. Don't answer the phone when you're busy. Especially when a client calls, I mean, you want to give them your complete attention, but if you're focused on something else, they're gonna hear that in your voice as you're talking to them. So if you're busy, just don't bother answering the phone. Let it go to voicemail. You can always return their call later. It's better than offending them. Here's one for me, number six. Okay, this is such a gotcha to me. Ready for this? Never do math in your head, okay? And here's what I mean by that. I know what my rates are for different projects and hourly rates, so forth. But sometimes, not sometimes, a lot of times, somebody will call me, a client or a prospect, and they'll say, okay, we want you to do this and this and this, and how much would you charge for that? And it's just some odd combination of work or odd project, and my temptation is always to kind of do the math in my head, figure it out, and throw a number out at them. No, what I do is I take real careful notes, ask a lot of questions about what they're expecting, and tell them I'll call them back or email back with a price quote, whatever. But the point is, I never try to throw a quote out there doing the addition and subtraction and multiplication in my head. Again, maybe that's just me. Number seven, treat every client like they're your biggest. This is really important, I think, and this goes way beyond freelance writing. The point is, you're going to have clients that maybe can't afford what other clients can afford. You have to make sure that you treat them all the same, with the same respect. Maybe you're not going to spend as much time with those clients, but treat them the same. It's really important. And again, the great thing about small clients is they have a habit of becoming big clients if you help them and you treat them right. So keep that in mind. Okay, number eight, listen to what your client wants. Now this is really important. This is a problem I had early on. I had clients asking me to do things, and they were, writing projects that I could have done, but they weren't my favorites, whatever. And I kind of pushed them off, probably lost a lot of money. So listen. Sometimes they don't, plus sometimes they don't come right out and say what they want. You got to really read between the lines, but you can pick up a lot of extra money that way. So be tuned into what your client wants. And this is another one. I've talked about this a lot. State your pricing with confidence, without hesitation, and with no justification. Okay? That's it. You don't have to tell people that you're charging such and such a price, because you've got a big mortgage or anything like that. No, you're charging what you charge because you're worth it, you've got experience, and you're a good writer, and what you're offering has value to them. Boom. Okay. 10. Never apologize when you're collecting an overdue invoice. Boy, this pet peeve of mine. Just remember, you don't go get on the phone and say, hey, I'm sorry, I got to collect on that invoice, because my car's broken down. I really need the money. No, that's not why you're calling them. You're not calling them because your car's broken down. You're calling them because you did work for them and you sent them an invoice and they didn't fulfill their end of the bargain. Okay, that's why you're calling them. You got to do that with confidence, without justification as well. All right, another small one, number 11. This is one for me. I keep my phone. You can't really see it, it's out of the picture, but I always make sure when I answer the phone, I look away from my computer, whatever I'm working on, when I'm talking on the phone, because I'll get distracted. There's a website up, or maybe I'm working on an article. I want to turn away from my computer screen and give my full attention to the client. All right, 12. This is the last one. Be enthusiastic when taking a phone call from anybody, everybody. Just be enthusiastic. Make it sound like you're glad to hear from them and you're eager to do work for them. Just make them feel good about calling you. That's it. So what are your rules to work by? I'm interested in hearing. Put them in the comments section. So those are my 12. If you're interested in more information on the business of running a freelance writing business, the business of freelance writing, you can check out my website that has a lot of articles and blogs and podcasts. That's www.writingbizcamp.com. And then you can follow me on Twitter @WritingBizGuru. Thanks for joining me.